All right. Hey, everyone. All right. So, topic of this video is going to be about the uh, topic of how knowing someone who knows someone who knows someone, or knowing the right person, can like give you an edge or whatever, and getting a job or into an industry or whatever, versus not knowing someone at all or whatever can make it really, really difficult. And those things. Basically, that's what we're going to be getting into. Uh, so, basically, just imagine, imagine two people. I'm sorry. Let's say candidate A and candidate B. On the left side, candidate A, they're at a messy desk. There's empty coffee cups. They have a glowing laptop with 147 unread rejection emails. She refreshes Gmail and there's nothing. Now on the right side, on the other side, you have candidate B. A casual brewery. He's laughing. He shakes hands with an old college buddy who just so happens to be a VP. They toast and everything with a drink. All right, so you've done everything right. 4-year degree, internships, customized cover letters. You've even watched tutorials on how to beat the ATS bot, and yet there is still silence. Meanwhile, Kennedy B, on the other hand, they haven't updated their resume in like 3 years. He didn't even know the job existed until yesterday, but his buddy said, "Hey, we're hiring. Send me your name." That name, it went straight to the hiring manager's phone, not the HR portal, not the algorithm, a text message. And just like that, the system worked for him. Today, we are going to talk about the single most frustrating reality of the modern job market, the hidden backdoor, why it exists, why it's not going away, and if it does go away, it probably won't be for a while, and why, even if you're the one benefiting, it still feels deeply fundamentally wrong. Quite frankly, it shouldn't be this way to begin with, or at all. I know people have opinions or whatever about this. Obviously from the people who have, benefited from this complex or whatever. But I don't know. I still feel it shouldn't be this way. All right, so let's start with the number that keeps HR consultants employed and job seekers depressed. Between like 70%, 85% of all jobs are never publicly advertised. They are filled through referrals, internal transfers, or word of mouth. So that means if you're scrolling LinkedIn or Indeed right now, you're fighting over the leftovers, the scraps, and the roles that nobody wanted to refer someone for. But here's the kicker about it. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality. Studies show that referred candidates are 2.6 times more likely to get an interview than non-referred candidates with ideal qualifications. Not better qualifications, identical. And it gets worse because referred hires have a 25% higher retention rate after 1 year. So companies love this system. It saves them money. It reduces risk, and it feels efficient. But who does it feel efficient for? Because here's what that data doesn't show. All the brilliant minds who never got a chance, the introverts, the first generation professionals, the people who moved to a new city and know exactly 0 people in their industry. Listen, that system isn't just unfair, it's invisible. You don't see opportunities. I'm sorry, you don't see the opportunities you never knew existed. All right, and getting into the psychology of this. Now, let's be brutally honest with ourselves. If you were the hiring manager and your best employee walked in and said, quote unquote, my old roommate is perfect for this role, wouldn't you at least give them a call? Of course you would, because trust is expensive. Background checks cost money. Bad hires cost months of productivity. A referral is a shortcut to trust. I believe it's psychologists call this social proof. We assume that if someone we respect vouches for a person, then that person must be competent. It's mental efficiency. But here's the dark side of it. This shortcut, it also triggers the affinity bias. We naturally favor people who are like us. Same alma mater, same hobby, same accent, same vibe. So when you quote unquote know someone, you're you're not just getting a job, you're getting a cultural seal of approval. You fit the mold. You're safe in a sense. And that's why this system perpetuates itself. The people in power, they hire people who remind them of themselves. And then those people hire more people like them. So yeah, in case you were wondering, it's not just a conspiracy. It's just human nature. It's just what we naturally are, what we would naturally feel in these types of situations when it comes to bringing in new people to your circle or your organization or whatever. But human nature, unchecked, it becomes structural inequality. All right. The historical context. This isn't anything new. Yeah. In the 1950s, it was in the country club. In the 1980s, it was a golf course. Today, it's the LinkedIn DM and the alumni WhatsApp group. The platform doesn't change. The dynamic doesn't change. Sociologists have studied this for decades. Mark Grandevere, a Stanford professor, he famously found that most people find jobs through weak ties, not close friends, but acquaintances, people they barely know. Then that sounds hopeful, right? Just meet more people. Just get out there and meet more people. But the catch to this is that those weak ties, they only work if you're already in the network. If you're outside it, if you don't know anyone who knows anyone, you're basically going to be invisible in that aspect. So we've built an entire economic system that rewards who you bumped into at a conference over what you built in your garage, and we call it mediocrity. All right, so I guess the counter argument of this, for the people who I guess benefit from this or whatever, I suppose before you I guess kind of get upset about this, just before you pull out your pitchforks or whatever, let's give the devil its due. Is networking always evil? I would say no, because referrals do work. They do. I've applied the strategy a little bit, applying for applying for jobs, on LinkedIn or whatever. I have messaged people on LinkedIn. I've just messaged them and asked them, saying like, hey, my name is Trevor and stuff, and do you have anything available, and stuff. If not, then just keep my information for later and everything, in case something does pop up. And that has happened. They have one person that did reach back out to me and everything with a referral about a new job opening at their company or organization. So it does work. I'm not sitting here and saying it doesn't, because it does. Referrals do work. Companies that hire through referrals, they see faster onboarding, higher job satisfaction, and lower turnover. Why? Because the referral, acts as a pre-filter. They don't want to look stupid, so they obviously only recommend people that they would genuinely believe in. Also, networking isn't just nepotism; it's information. You learn about the company culture, the unwritten rules, the manager's pet peeves. That's valuable intel that no job description will ever give you. So there are pros and cons to everything, and this is one of the pros. You do this, you can learn a lot of stuff just from getting in there and just walking around, meeting people, talking to them, listening to the banter and everything, seeing how things are. It does work. So the problem isn't connections. The problem is exclusivity. When a company only hires through internal referrals and it doesn't even look at the public applicants, that's not networking, that's gatekeeping. The difference is subtle, but it is massive. For networking, it means like we'll consider everyone, but we trust our people. Gatekeeping, on the other hand, is like we won't even look at you unless you know someone, which is, it doesn't, it's not, that's really not ideal. And right now there are way too many companies that are doing the latter. That's a big reason why, like, so many people, they've been sending all these resumes and everything. They're, they did everything right, and they're still, like stuck in like a middle ground or whatever. They're stuck, either stuck in a job, that they don't like or they hate, or they're not where they want to be right now. They want to be they obviously want to make more money, or they want to get into an industry that they actually do enjoy, but they're stuck where they are right now because of what these companies are doing. All right, the emotional toll. Yeah, the emotional toll. So let's talk about what this feels like. If you're a first generation professional, or an immigrant, or someone who just simply did not grow up with industry connections, like us, like a lot of people right now, the system doesn't just feel unfair, it feels personal. You sometimes you sit there in your house or whatever, after like sending all those resumes and everything, doing all this work and stuff. You sit there and start wondering, am I good enough? Did I pick the wrong major? Should I have gone to a different school? You start internalizing internalizing the failure. You think it's your resume, you think it's your interview skills, or your lack of experience and stuff. But more often than not, it's none of that. It's just you just don't know the right person at the right time. And this, unfortunately, is devastating. um be, because I'd say it's like devastating, also stupid, because you can fix a resume, you can learn new skills, but you can't retroactively make your dad's college roommate a CEO. That's just simply not how it works. And the worst part, you know even when you do break in, you carry this quiet resentment. You're the exception and not the rule, and you wonder, how many brilliant people got left behind just because they didn't have your luck. And that's really deep. That's like something that a lot of people don't really think about. And I suppose getting into the solution of this and like what needs to change, um, how do we fix this and everything? Because obviously complaining is easy. There's like so many people online, complaining about how bad the job market is or whatever and stuff. But solutions are hard. That's why you know people complain so much, because it's easy and stuff. So I'd say, first, for job seekers, you obviously can't beat the system, so you have to hack it. So, cold DMs, informational interviews, alumni networks, online communities. You obviously don't need a VIP pass. You just need persistence and genuine curiosity. But let's be real. That takes energy, and it's exhausting, and it shouldn't be necessary. We shouldn't have to, do all that, but it is what it is right now. Second, for companies, addressing all the companies that are doing this, uh, blind um, resume screening. They remove names, schools, and even gender. Structure interviews, same questions, same scoring, um, and actually reading the public applications. So some companies are already doing this. Google, for a time, they use structure interviews to reduce bias. Deloitte experimented with blind hiring for entry level roles. And guess what? They found amazing talent that they would have otherwise overlooked. All right, the data is clear with this. When you widen the funnel, you don't lower quality, you increase it. You just have to be willing to look past the who and focus on the what. And third, for all of us, if you are a person who knows someone, use your power responsibly. Don't just refer your friends. Refer people who are good, even if they don't look like you or sound like you. You know, be a bridge, and don't be a gatekeeper. Is what I'm saying. All right, and getting into the final thoughts of this, the ideal versus the reality. All right, look, obviously I'm not naive. I know that networking is never going to disappear. It's human, it's efficient, and it's comfortable, and I believe that we have all done it at some point, like like subconsciously or whatever, without realizing it and stuff. But there's a difference between knowing someone and excluding everyone else. The ideal job market is one where your network gives you a head start, and not the only start. Where your resume is read and not discarded, where talent wins over access. We're not there yet, but I believe that we can be. So if you're watching this, and you feel stuck and everything, which I can imagine, like, there's probably a lot of people out there who watch this video who probably do feel stuck. I just want you to know that it's not your fault. The game is unfortunately rigged, but games can be changed. And if you're watching this and you are the one who knows someone, just do the uncomfortable thing. Recommend a stranger. Take a chance on someone who doesn't have a buddy, because the best hire of your career might be someone you've never even met. Basically, just build bridges and not walls. All right, so thank you for watching. If you resonated with this, share it with someone who needs to hear it, or someone who needs to change it. If you want to, we can talk in the comments. Say, have you ever been the outside or the inside, and the outside and the inside in these situations? What did it feel like and stuff? All right, thank you. See you in the next one.